Gravity is a funny thing. Most times it influences things like fall damage, leading to distress in some games, but it can also be used in a number of other ways, whether it's the simple act of throwing objects, slamming enemies, or trapping them in a black hole. Let's take a look at such insane weapons here. Before we go ahead, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos every single day and your support really helps us out. With that out of the way, let's start. KINESIS Dead Space. Like many weapons in Dead Space, KINESIS served more as a tool from the outset than a straight-up weapon. Nevertheless, being able to throw objects at necromorphs, thus saving ammo, was helpful in a number of fights. It was even cooler to blow off a necromorph's limb and then toss them right back. Dead Space 2 took this further when it allowed sharper weapons to impale foes, resulting in potential one-shot kills. Though it may seem like more telekinesis than anything else, KINESIS actually uses an artificial gravity field to work. Temporal uplink, TIMESPLITTERS Future Perfect. Picking up objects and hurtling them at foes is only one functionality of the Swiss Army knife-esque temporal uplink. It can pick up items, including weapons, from a distance, provide maps of the surrounding area, activate switches from afar, and also serves as a time machine for Cortez. It even highlights collectibles on the map, making it easier to locate time crystals. The Gravity Gun, Half-Life 2. One of the most well-known tools of weaponized gravity, Half-Life 2's zero-point energy field manipulator or gravity gun made for all kinds of fun interactions. It works by pulling an object towards it with the second fire and subsequently launches it when hitting the primary fire. Explosive tanks and barrels, saw blades, and much more thus became lethal weapons. Of course, things get even crazier when it turns into the dark energy field manipulator and is capable of carrying enemies and large objects before launching with incredible force. Gravity Gloves, Half-Life ALYX. More or less similar to the gravity gun, the gravity gloves gain extra functionality by virtue of Half-Life ALYX being a VR title. This means you can snag ammo from afar, steal items from passing enemies or nearby corpses, and even grab a grenade in midair to throw back with your hands. There's no dark energy variant, unfortunately, but it's still very useful in its own right. Sigma's Kit, Overwatch. After being exposed to a black hole, Sabrin de Kuiper, or Sigma, would obtain the power to manipulate gravity. His entire kit uses gravity in numerous ways, from the hyperspheres, which can bounce off walls and damage foes, to accretion, which forms a rock from surrounding debris and launches it, stunning a target briefly. Gravatic Flux is the culmination of all this, as Sigma lifts up enemies into the air and slams them down, dealing damage equivalent to half their total health. Despite significant nerfs over the years, Sigma still stands as one of the most powerful heroes in universe and in-game. Propulsion Cannon, Subnautica. The propulsion cannon in Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero pretty much mirrors Half-Life 2's gravity gun in functionality, right down to pulling things in and launching them with a primary fire. In these games, however, it's very useful for catching fish or moving debris while exploring. You can even weaponize it by using crash fish as ammo, since they explode on contact. M490 BLACKSTORM from Mass Effect 2. Commander Shepard already has a number of resources at his disposal to combat the Collectors in Mass Effect 2, and of course that includes a black hole gun. The M490 BLACKSTORM fires singularities that pull nearby enemies without shields or armor, which then explode after a short amount of time. But along with its high damage output, it can stagger protected foes and even damage them through cover. The lack of self-damage means it can be fired at point blank as well. Black Hole Launcher, Saints Row 4. Between superpowers, mechs, and dive bombs that create nuclear explosions, some of the weapons in Saints Row 4 can be a bit tame. But then there's the black hole launcher, which doesn't require any ammo and pulls pretty much everything into the black hole that it fires. Wardens and Marauders are the only exceptions, but they still take plenty of damage from it. Its slow rate of fire is the only real drawback, making it a potent weapon for many situations. Rift Inducer, Ratchet and Clank up your arsenal. The Rift Inducer is yet another weapon that fires black holes, though there are some caveats. Unlike many other weapons on this list, the black holes will suck enemies in once their health hits 0. It still deals damage and is great for dealing with most standard foes, but it can be pretty useless against bosses or enemies like, guard bots. But upgrade it enough and you'll dispatch normal foes even more quickly, along with unlocking the ability to shock them with a Rift Ripper. Oblivion, Crackdown 3. Crackdown 3 didn't have a whole lot going for it outside of the arcadey third-person shooting, but if the action was to your liking, then the Oblivion Singularity Initiator could provide some of the most fun times. You'd need to climb all the way up the Science Center in Central Shade and clear out all the enemies, but eventually, the Oblivion could be yours. It carries 5 charges and shoots at a singularity that drags enemies and objects towards it and then explodes. Though you can't really pull the biggest mechs and enemies into it, the Oblivion is still great for taking out the trash. Singularity Cannon, Unreal 2: The Awakening. Bizarre looking, but still incredibly lethal, the Singularity Cannon fires, well, you guessed it, a small black hole, but what makes it interesting is that pretty much anything is sucked in, from projectiles to people, including the protagonist, which makes it an enormous risk. Despite the slow speed of its shots and the preparation required for each, the Singularity Cannon can be very devastated when used correctly. Wormhole Fulton, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Unlocked after completing Side Op 50, Capture the Legendary Jackal, the Wormhole Fulton serves as an upgrade for the standard Fulton device. It essentially creates wormholes to Fulton things away with 100% success. What makes it especially useful is that it can be used indoors, thus making for easier hostage rescues and can't be shot down by foes. Plus, if you don't mind wounding enemy soldiers, it makes for a nice alternative to tranquilizing or stunning them thanks to the success rate. Singularity Cannon, Red Faction Armageddon. Much like Unreal 2's weapon of the same name, the Singularity Cannon in Red Faction Armageddon creates small black holes with its shots. The key differences are that the shots move quickly with the black hole in question being created on impact. It then starts sucking things in, dealing damage over time, and then exploding, expelling its contents with a shockwave. So whether you're dealing with hordes of enemies or looking to cause tons of structural damage, it comes in mighty handy. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below, and if you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.